Today, I'm finally getting around to repairing the lower rear of the cab wall on this 1980 Toyota pickup. Way back when I was replacing the rusty floors on the Ohio truck, I found that the rust also started to creep up the rear cab wall. I cut a nice section of the floor from the parts truck, and that worked out perfect for fixing the floor. But with the bed on the truck, I didn't have access to the outside of the rear cab wall to fabricate and weld a repair panel to replace what I had cut out. So now, with the bed out of the way, I can finally get to work on repairing this section of the rear wall. And this is the last area of the cab that needs repaired before I move it to the new frame. Here's a better look at what I'm working with. First, I cleaned off the rust proofing with the wire wheel that I use for dirty work. Then I went back with the more rigid wire wheel to remove the paint and primer to expose the bare metal. I used magnets to hold a cereal box to the outside while I went inside and outlined the opening with the marker. I couldn't reach the bottom of the edge with a marker, so I gave the bottom edge some light taps with a hammer to crease the cardboard. Next, I cut out the template and traced it onto some sheet metal that I had left over from the floor repair, and cut it out using the aviation snips. Next, I used a bench grinder to trim the piece down to the exact edge I had drawn with the marker, since it's hard to be exact with the aviation snips. Because the rear wall of the cab isn't perfectly flat, I used the bench vise and a hammer to add a few bends where needed. And once again, use the magnets to hold the repair panel in place. I'm using a MIG welder to weld it to the body. The MIG welder does create some heat, which helps here because I'm also having to fine-tune the contour of the metal as I go to help it fit better, and hot metal bends easier than cold metal. Here's a close look at the repair so far. In case you weren't sure, I'm not a professional fabricator. I just enjoy repairing vehicles in my residential garage. And here's how it looks on the inside of the cab wall. Next, I use an angle grinder to clean up and smooth out the welds. And last, I sprayed it with some self-etching primer to prevent it from rusting. I used a wire wheel to clean up the inside and hit it with the self-etching primer as well, and then seam sealer. Next time I'll show how to remove a truck cab. Thanks for watching.